Art is too important not to share. Welcome to the Allie and Callie Artcast.
Hi, I'm Allie.
And I'm Callie. Welcome to the Artcast.
Yes, welcome. We're still in Walla Walla.
Yeah, because we don't want to leave.
I know. I want to move here.
We're having so much fun. We ate at a great Mexican restaurant, Mercado. Mm-hmm. They have the best margaritas.
Oh, man.
I want to say. And we're so full, I can barely move. I was slow walking up here. We want to thank Tyson Kopp for letting us use this space to have some interviews.
Tyson from the Walla Walla Summer Theater.
Yes. So once again, thanks again, Tyson. Mm-hmm. But it was hard to get up those stairs. Let me tell you. The food was so good, though.
It was so good.
And the weather's been beautiful. It's hot.
Very hot.
Hot.
Very bright.
You keep saying that.
Bright?
She keeps saying that. I don't know.
It's like
it's sunny.
It's
called
like my
sunshine.
Contacts are
maybe that's what it is.
Extra rays or
to
something.
Me is sunshine, and it's sunny, and it's the summertime.
Yeah.
Although it's September 6th.
To the equator?
I don't think so. But, well, maybe, the equator.
A little bit.
Teeny bit from Coeur d'Alene. Yeah, I'll give you that. But it's summer. It's beautiful. But we're now into September. Mm-hmm. When this airs, it'll be September 6th.
That's right.
So, hello, fall.
Yeah.
Here we are.
I know.
Just like that, summer's over.
I know, it goes by in a
But
flash.
September is a great month.
It is it's actually my favorite month.
I love fall. I do love fall.
Yep.
I love summer and I love fall.
My husband and I wanted to get married on September 27th.
I got married in September once.
Did you? Yeah, once. But my mother, and I even checked with her because I knew they were going to Portugal. I checked with her when they were coming back. And so September 27th was a great day.
Sure.
And when I called her to tell her that we had decided on this date, she said, well, we were thinking we would extend our trip in Portland.
Oh.
And I went, I should have said, well, we'll miss you at the wedding.
Yeah, but you didn't.
But I didn't. I changed it to October 3rd, and it almost rained.
Oh.
It was not the best day. But September 27th that year was like the nicest weekend of the year.
Of course. Yeah.
I was so bummed.
Yeah.
I will never let her forget that.
I know. Well,
that was almost 26 years ago.
I know. Well,
don't ever let it be said that I hold a grudge.
No, yes. You don't hold a grudge. Well, I got married in September once, and that wedding didn't work. So, but maybe. my wedding with Stu was on a rainy day in October. In March.
No, yours was in March.
In March, but it was rainy, and we're together 30 years.
I know, they say it's good luck.
So what do we know?
Right.
Anyway, we're having so much fun in Walla Walla, and we've met so many great people, and we're really excited to talk to
Tricia.
Yes, from ArtWalla.
From ArtWalla.
Welcome, Trish.
Yes.
It's great to be here.
Yes. So tell us about the organization and what exactly it is, and what you do for them.
Right.
Well, first of all, you guys are great because I can't tell you how many people say, Art Walla Walla. Arts Walla Walla. They never get it right. So you did your research.
Oh,
yes, we did.
Art Walla.
ArtWalla. I love it.
It's a brilliant name.
Is it
ArtWalla?
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah.
So it actually started in the 90s as Blue Mountain Arts Alliance.
Okay.
And it was really, it was a nonprofit that was meant to support the arts, and it was an all-volunteer organization. Mm-hmm. And, they went for about 6-7 years just trying to bring art stuff. I think they even started the art walk at that point in time. But in the early 2000s, the board decided that they really wanted to focus on public art, because that was a time when there was a fair amount of money and interest in public art. And so they kind of let go of supporting the rest of the arts. And because of that, and because there was so much money at that time for grants and that kind of thing, they were able to hire a part-time, three-quarters-time director who was the one that basically made the public art happen. And so ArtWalla was responsible for fundraising, working with calls to artists to get proposals, working with the city to get them to approve whatever the concept was. They managed the project. When it was done, they cited it on public property, and then they basically gave it to the city.
Oh, wow.
So, we were the nonprofit vehicle that could collect the funding. And the funding came from everywhere from local foundations to the National Endowment for the Arts. And so they did that for about 12 years. And if you walk the main street of
I love
downtown,
your public art collection.
There's
a
lot of fun. And most of it was done by local artists. And then in about 2012, they had about a 5-year project, which I don't know if you've walked down the street. There's sort of a great little pocket park called Heritage Park that they actually just redid, and the city redid it. It looks really great. But they moved a facade from the Oddfellows building, which was 3 blocks away, and they moved the facade, put it up, and then over about 5 years raised the money to do the research about sort of 150 years of the people that started Walla Walla. So it's called Windows on the Past.
Oh, cool.
So all the photographs that are in the big archways are that. And all of that research was done by Whitman students, and it's in the archives at Whitman.
Cool.
And so it's a really cool project and very impactful. And now that they've redone the park, it actually has even a better presence, I think.
Yeah,
that's great.
And then in 2012, the board was exhausted. They were going to shut down. And they decided, maybe there's an interested group that we could sort of elect a new board, and we'll give them our remaining funds, which were not many. So that happened, and we transitioned back to really an organization that is really here to empower, support, advocate for the arts and artists in this valley. So that's been 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's great.
Unfortunately, I've been on the board since the old organization
Is that
until
right?
now.
Oh, wow. Long time.
And now, for the last 3 years, we've had a part-time program director. So
that's nice.
been nice. It's allowing us to do a lot more, and the intention would be that we would grow and grow and grow.
Right. It's interesting that you have the organization that did the public art and are now doing the programming in the community, because in Coeur d'Alene, we have the Arts and Culture Alliance that does the programming, and then the city has the Arts Commission that does the public art. And we finally figured out that it was important to merge the two. I mean, not necessarily, but partner together on projects and just be in touch with each other. But how great that you had one organization. I mean, I'm sure it was a lot of work, but one organization that kind of managed it all and still worked with the city.
Right. And actually, ArtWalla, since 2012, has worked with the city to start an arts commission for the city.
Oh, great.
So now there's a body there that relates to their governing and reports to the city council.
Right. Oh, that's perfect.
But it's really the best way, because we can raise money from nonprofits.
Right.
And we have the expertise to work with the artists to do the project, where the city really hasn't put in a lot of money.
Sure.
do that.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Well, speaking of money, where does the funding come from?
Good question.
The fun thing is that really early on we decided, you know what? We're not going to change the world. We're not going to put it on fire. And we had a really great strategic plan sort of put in place where we said we're going to bite off little chunks of things that we want to do, and we're going to see if we can find ways to raise money. And so we started out, one of our goals was to connect artists and arts organizations to where instead of all of us working out in little silos, we would come together and partner and get to know and support each other in the work that we're doing. So we put on these 4 times a year creative networks where they're kind of the mix and mingle for a while, and then we'll have 3 or 4 either organizations or artists do presentations about what they're doing. And other than COVID time, we have done those. It's really since the beginning. We do very little grant work, mainly because we have no staff.
Right.
Yeah.
So we do have some nice support from local foundations, but it's not a lot. And then we are a membership-based organization as well. And where we get most of our artists is we have a category called working artists. And those people get a lot of benefit from our website and being able to put their portfolios in their directory listing and get benefits. Well, Art Squared is a fundraiser that we have now been doing. This will be our 12th year in September. And it started out with 50 artists. We now have 150 artists this year. Everybody at in middle of spring gets 8 6x6 little wood cradled panels with nothing on them, and they go away all summer. And they create whatever art they do. So it could be oil painting, it could be ceramics, it could be whatever. They attach it onto these boards. And then we have an event at one of the wineries that's big enough to display over 1,000 pieces of art.
Wow.
So they come on a Friday night, they preview them, people preview them, and then at 7 o'clock, the bell rings.
They're for sale.
And then there's like this...
The frenzy.
The art
Get out of my way.
I want it. It's mine. That's great.
I love that.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
Wow.
In fact, we have people coming. They'll contact us and say, what's the date this year? Because we're planning our trip to Walla Walla on the weekend. Once they come, they want to keep coming.
Sure. So what is the date?
The date is September 27th, Friday. And that's the main event.
Right.
The music, the food, the wine.
Right.
Wow.
And the frenzy.
Fun.
And then we sell the 2 weekend days.
Oh, cool.
And last year we had over 1,000 pieces and we sold almost 800.
That's amazing. That's great.
So we keep the price at $36, which we want people to be able to buy 5.
Right.
Right.
And,
when the first line when you get to the checkout time is once people have gotten their squares, might go wrap around the room, but everybody's so excited. They're showing their squares to people.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
That's fun.
Well,
it's a great event.
Yeah, I bet. And then people can add to their collection over the years by coming back and getting more. I love that.
Don't ask me how many I have.
Oh, yeah. How many squares do you have?
But it starts with a 7. It has a 0.
That
very
sounds
cool.
like fun.
Well, my goal is to collect artists. I try and buy stuff of people I know. So I'll...
Sure.
And then ones that I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh,
that sounds like a great fundraiser.
It does.
Yeah.
So September 27th?
September 27th.
But that does not raise a lot of money for us because one of our big intentions in that event is to support the artists. So they get, out of the 36, they get 24.
Oh, that's great.
And we
that's
get
good
12.
for them.
Yeah. So there's cost.
40 artists donate 100% of their
that's
proceeds.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
those 40 raise as much money
as everybody else.
Yeah.
So it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
It's fun, and it's really brought both the artists, the visual artists community, and the visual artist loving community together in a way.
And that's almost more important, I think. Getting the just support of the community for the arts.
The connections.
And connections.
That's awesome.
And everybody's like, well, you should raise your prices. We're like, no.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, the panel's 6x6. So 36, that's the right price.
Yeah. 6x6. Yeah.
Well, we did something similar with our studio tours, a much smaller scale. But some of our artists, we were charging $75 a piece. Some of our artists are like, oh, that's too much. But there were many artists who were saying, wow, I would sell a piece like that for $200 and up. And so it got a little confusing. It was a little hard to manage. And we ended up just kind of scrapping it.
Yeah.
Too much
we've had, a few artists that, are very established and sell their work for a lot of money.
Right.
And they're just like, well, this isn't right. And I said, well, then
don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah, it's simple.
We'd love to have you
make a choice. Yeah.
Yeah, because in a way, it's just a way to support an organization that is supporting you.
Yeah, you're giving back.
Yeah, you're giving back.
And so you also have a First Friday.
We have a First Friday Art Walk, which that's the name that it started with. And over the years, galleries in Walla Walla have just sort of come and gone. I mean, galleries are tough to begin with. You know that.
Yeah.
Or you probably know gallerists.
That we know quite a few.
So got down to where we had like one or two galleries in downtown, and then people were doing their work in tasting rooms and restaurants, but those are really hard places to display art and to say, oh, well, from 4 to 7 on Friday night, you're going to go see these new things, but they're serving dinner there, or that most of the tasting rooms here close at like 5, and they don't want to be open till 7, even once a month. So it sort of lost steam, and then one of our really anchor galleries closed. But we've tried to keep it up, and we now, this year I'm really excited about what we're doing. We're calling it the First Friday Art Tour, meaning you can't just walk places. There's places out and about that have fabulous art, and so we want to include them as a venue. And it's a weekend, not just Friday night.
Oh, good.
And that's because little Waitsburg, 20 minutes from here, which is a town of about 1,500, has an amazing artist community.
Oh, wow.
Really?
And they came to ArtWalla and said, we want to be part of this. And so we devised this, let's do these itineraries. And if you go to our website, we have a weekend itinerary that Friday night is focused on Walla Walla and what's happening here. And we'll start it like in the morning, go to breakfast, bacon and eggs for breakfast, and then stop in at, La La La, who's got this going on, and then, have lunch here, and just sort of make it an all day, because a lot of businesses are only open till 5.
Right.
And then Waitsburg does their itinerary focused more on Saturday.
Oh, what a great idea.
And it's really worked. This year it's new, so it's in its infancy.
Yeah,
but I like the concept.
The Ovation Company, in partnership with the Chalkboard Agency, is committed to improving the climate and culture of our schools. The number one indicator for student success is connectedness, feeling like you are part of something. Nothing helps connect people like a good story. After all, isn't a podcast a way to share and collect stories? The Chalkboard Agency's mission is to connect the world of education through the stories that bond us all. To find out more, visit thechalkboardagency.com. And if you have a story to tell that you believe would help young people to be kinder to one another, reach out to the Chalkboard Agency and let us connect you to the world.
Add a little flair to your special events with Scraps Barbecue, a great catering choice for your next gathering. Specializing in golf tournaments, sporting events, weddings, and other family friend gatherings, their commercial kitchen can be on site, or you can choose to have a fully catered meal delivered right to you. Known for their authentic Santa Maria-style tri-tip and tequila lime fish tacos, they can customize the menu to meet your needs for groups of 20 to 2,500. Contact Kevin at kevin@scrapsbarbecue.com or check them out on Facebook. So you have a gallery.
I do.
Are you right downtown?
We are. We are not far from where you had lunch.
Oh.
We're in a building called the Showroom, which is, anything off of Main Street is a little hard because it's hard to have people we're on Colville Street where we are right now. We're one block the other way off of Main.
Oh, okay.
But it's this cool building that got redeveloped. It was a showroom for Pontiacs in the 50s.
How fun.
The developer of the building just did this amazing job of redeveloping it. It's got a great anchor restaurant, a couple of tasting rooms, a little market called Andy's Market, a great charcuterie, another place called Marguerite that does lovely home table settings and gourmet foods and the most amazing pasta noodles you can buy anywhere in Walla Walla. And then our gallery's in there.
Oh, okay.
And it started because four of us that were on the Art Square planning committee, we were basically board members of ArtWalla. We're sitting around after a meeting just bitching and moaning about the fact that there's no galleries.
Yeah. Where are the galleries? Yeah.
So we all take our artwork and we slap it up in a tasting. No, we don't slap it up, and they're very nice to allow us. But it's not a great place to sell artwork. Their job, what they're doing in there is selling wine. They don't necessarily want to sell our art. And so we decided, well, let's just stop whining. And let's do it. And so we decided, let's do a co-op so that we don't have to worry about paying the rent. And literally 4 days after we had that discussion, everybody left going, okay, we're going to do it. This developer came to me and said, I want to talk to you about ArtWalla stuff because he wanted to do artwork in the alleys.
Oh
yeah.
And he's got an alley presence. In fact, there is a really cool mural on the alley side of the building. So I asked him questions like, what's going to go in your building after we were done? And he said, well, I'm the restaurant, and then I just talked to an artist who wants to do a gallery, and I'm like, well, who's that?
Do I know?
Because of course I know who it is. Right. So he shared it. So we talked. He said she's looking for other people to be involved, and so we talked. She ended up dropping out, but 6 of us founded it. Happened to be 6 women.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Not on purpose.
Just happened. It lined up that way.
Just lined up that way. And we have 15 member artists right now. They all pay a little monthly dues. And for that, we curate their artwork every month. You get a feature about every 2 years. And we bring guest featured artists in.
Oh, that's great.
To 3 to 4 times a year. And
do each of the artists need to come in and spend a little time per month to help?
They have some other job. Like they sit the gallery, or they patch and paint in between shows, or they help with marketing.
Right.
And it's called the Combine Art Collective.
Oh,
cool.
And ArtWalla used to have an office in a cool building, but it wasn't open to the public. It was kind of like a place where we stored our easels and we
did your business, but it wasn't open.
But it
to
wasn't
the public.
a place where people could come in and
have a conversation.
Stuff.
Yeah.
And so we decided, what if ArtWalla, because our gallery is closed 3 days a week, what if ArtWalla's office was in here versus in this closed down building? So it's been a really great partnership for us. And September 1, we are coming up on 5-year anniversary.
Yay.
So we opened right before COVID. We had to shut down, not for that long.
Right, but you sustained it, and that's awesome.
We sustained it, and
that's great.
We're weathering all kinds of storms. But we have so many committed artists that are willing to pay the costs that you have to pay to rent the building.
Sure.
That we do have to sell art, and we all want to sell art.
Yeah.
Of course.
But it's not as stressful as...
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Just a one-person
that'd be...
So back to your public art. I have a couple of questions about that. First of all, how many pieces are in the public art collection? Do you know?
I should know. But it's interesting because you give it over to the city, and then all of a sudden it doesn't have to sit on your insurance records, any of those things. We do help them on an annual basis. We do sort of a 3-college community project where the foundry, the art foundry, provides all the stuff that you need to wash the sculpture and wax
and
the sculpture and maintain them. And so we have a day where that happens, which is fun. But I'd say we have probably 10, 15 pieces and then a number of murals. And the neat thing is that then you walk into Whitman's campus, which is, just at the end of downtown.
Right.
And they have another set of 25 amazing pieces. So you can really, I've done actually a tour for a group that came in, starting at the end of Whitman, going through and showing and talking about it. And it's a pretty good walk. There's some really great...
I've been on part of that walk with my friend. She and I came, and she was doing an article at the Foundry for a magazine that she was working for, and we got to go to the Foundry and tour the Foundry, which was amazing.
Isn't it?
We got to meet Deborah Butterfield while we were there because she was doing a patina demonstration to a group of people who were purchasing her art for someplace in Montana. I want to say it was Big Fish, Montana. So we got to be in on that little demonstration, which was really cool. And then we found a little map of the public art downtown, and we proceeded to walk through downtown and visit every piece. And I have a picture of me kissing one of the dogs or something. I don't know.
The dog. He's sort of front and center.
Yes, he is. We saw the dog.
We saw
There's a lot of good pictures. Visitor promo.
There you go.
Right. I was really impressed because while it's not a huge collection, it's a really good collection of art, and I loved it.
Yeah, it's fun. And there's really a number of the artists have 2 or 3 pieces that they've done. So there's probably 10 artists that are represented in that string.
Oh, that's cool.
The last significant piece that got put in place was the first year of the new board in 2012, and it was Walla Walla's sesquicentennial. Said that pretty well.
You did. Yeah.
150 years. And the city and one of the local foundations came and said, we'd really love you guys to manage this project. And we applied for the funding, but it was kind of known that we would probably get it.
Yeah.
Because the city wanted it and Sherwood Trust wanted to fund it. And so that sculpture used to be on Main Street, right near the windows on the pass, the Heritage Park. And when they redid that, they resited it out onto Spokane, just at the other end of the park. And it's a great location for it. At first, when you spent so much time, the sculpture is 150 feet tall.
Wow.
I mean, feet. Inches.
Oh,
so
okay.
1 inch per year.
Oh, right. Okay.
Looking forward, looking back, it's got some great glass eyes at the top. Kind of looks like a feather, and it's done by a local artist named Squire Broll. And it was great where it was, and the director at that time and I walked around with a pole that was 150 inches, and we'd say, what about here? And we'd walk and look at the sight line. So, it takes a long time to decide
figure out where
you're going to put it. And then when they want to move it, you're like,
no.
But I actually like it better.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
good.
We're going to have to go scoop that out.
Look it up.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Just
Take
walk
a pic.
through the park. It sort of bends to the left.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Okay.
We'll look for it.
Yeah, we were right around there last night. When
we're
went
close.
So our board right now is really kind of ready to take on another
project.
public project. We have this great deal with Whitman, who has an amazing internship program in the summers, and you can apply to get one. And we had one who ended up working on putting this proposal together that was... It's kind of public-private art. We wanted to do basically an outdoor art gallery in the alleyways. How lots of buildings have those boarded up windows, but they're like perfect picture frame.
Yeah. Yep.
And so we spent a lot of time putting this proposal together, talking to the city and talking to some of the private building owners, because you got to get them to agree to put art on their buildings. And then COVID happened.
I know.
And everything
sort of
slowed it down.
We're kind of interested in maybe bringing that back.
Right.
So
that would be
we're
a good
ready
project.
to figure out another public art piece.
That's cool.
Greetings, listeners of the Allie and Callie Artcast podcasts. This is Jason from Tubbs Coffee Roasters. Keeping art alive and culture relevant is the heart and soul of our community of creatives. And as a local coffee roaster who loves a good origin story of a painter or a farmer or a musician, we proudly support the Allie and Callie's Artcast podcast's expansion and exploration through positive conversation. So grab a cup of coffee, preferably one from Tubbs Coffee Roasters, and tune in, humans. Your ears will thank you.
For all your screen printing needs, trust the local you can count on. Pyramid Printing has been a Coeur d'Alene favorite for over 2 decades.
Specializing in screen printing, embroidery, signs, banners, and stickers. For all jobs, big and small, just give Eric a call.
Email us at info@pyramidprintingcda.com or give us a call at 208-664-0254.
pyramidprintingcda.com.
What is coming up next? What's something exciting you want to tell us about?
Well, we already talked about Art Squared.
Right.
So
Yes,
that's
which I
done.
love the name of
I do
that.
too.
September 27th.
Don't forget.
So put it on your calendar.
Put it on the calendar.
It's not far from Coeur d'Alene.
No, it's
it
not.
isn't.
It's a 3-hour drive.
Yeah.
Piece of cake.
and
Easy drive.
It's worth the drive.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun. The exciting thing is the city and College Place, which abuts Walla Walla, and ArtWalla, the downtown foundation of Walla Walla, pre-COVID started working on let's apply for a creative district.
Oh.
You know, the Washington.
Yeah, we know those.
You
Yes.
guys have them too, right?
Well, we don't have it, but we want
But
one.
Idaho has
Yes.
the legislation that you can,
Yeah.
right?
No.
No.
Oh, you
not,
don't?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, I thought
but
you
it's
did.
being worked on.
They're trying. It's not
So,
happened yet.
Yeah.
You know, that took a long time.
Yeah.
You know, everybody on the west side of the state wanted it, but they needed to convince us east siders that
Yeah.
the legislators should vote for it.
Right.
So-
Right. And I got to say, Colorado and Washington State were the first two states in the country to establish the Creative District program, where it's actually part of the economic portion of the legislation.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is really cool. They recognize that art is an economic driver in a community.
When you look at the stats for Washington, it's some crazy number, like 20% of the GDP. You know,
Yeah,
it's like, really?
It's huge.
Yeah.
That's great.
So anyways, we started working on it pre-COVID, and we decided, even though they really had never done it before, to do a joint application. 2 municipalities apply for it, and we got a lot of pushback initially, but now I think they're really excited, and we have this story that takes 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, to go. There's free buses, there's bike lanes, there's pedestrian,
Yeah.
and a great corridor that has, like, the foundry is on the road that's the corridor between the two. And we spent 2 years going through it. It was a very arduous application
I bet.
process.
Yeah.
Very arduous. We actually hired a consultant to help us work. We had community meetings and stakeholder interviews and surveys and put together a strategic plan about what we would do if we were one, and which it's really hard to define what a creative district is. But
It is hard to define.
so we just got approved and signed the contract with the state July 1st.
Wow.
Congratulations.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you and Walla Walla, and you said another community or just
Walla Walla College Place.
College Place? Okay.
Yeah, which just literally
It's
there's
right
one
around-
I mean, you don't
Gotcha.
know if you're in or out.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
That's
Although
awesome.
most of the big box stores, if you're at a big box store, they're all in College Place.
I
Oh,
see.
really?
But it didn't make sense for us to be two separate creative districts.
No.
And the College Place city manager is fabulous and was so excited about this thing. And you thought, great, he's going to get one.
And we
And
aren't.
then Walla-
Yeah, right.
So ArtWalla is the fiduciary administrator for the creative district because we have 2 municipalities. And so you don't want the
And
city of
oversee,
Walla
yes.
Walla to
Yeah.
be it. We're all learning about what it means right now.
Oh my God,
and
that's so great.
so we're really excited about
Yeah.
that.
That's awesome.
We have another interesting consortium of 8 nonprofit organizations that are in the arts that are looking to do a shared space for the arts. That initially was like, oh, we're just going to share office space and copiers, and instead of all of us working in a little place like this,
Right.
we're going to be together and maybe share a receptionist, but we'll also cross each other's paths during the day at the water coolers. So we're going to collaborate more, and we're
Right.
going to partner
Oh, yeah.
more. And,
Which just makes a stronger art community.
so we're pretty far down the road. This, again, was one of those pre-COVID things. And then, you know, especially performing arts just got sort of
Slammed.
And now we have, cross your fingers, a potential space that sort of meets the criteria of being in downtown and some potential really great investors into the art. I don't know how much I could divulge, but it's pretty close to becoming, and we have an architect who's doing pro bono work for us.
Oh, great.
And so it's starting to feel real.
That's
although
great.
scary
Yeah.
at the same time.
Right.
Because it's a big commitment.
Yeah.
For all
Right.
these organizations.
Sure.
Who are,
Just trying to get by.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
awesome.
I know. I think it's important for the arts to support itself. A question I have is if somebody wanted to, for instance, know when this place comes about or any of the other projects that you have going, where do they go to find that information?
ArtWalla has a website, ArtWalla.com.
Okay.
Not .org.
Uh-huh.
On that, we have all the events, we have artist directories, we have an events calendar. There are links to the Creative District. The Creative District does have its own website, very much under development.
Right.
Oh, but the name of the Creative District is Koala.
Your mascot could be a koala bear.
Koala.
That's a great place to get stuff.
Contact.
Yeah.
Great.
And then you're probably
And then we
on-
have Facebook and Instagram.
All the good
Right.
stuff.
and you just go to ArtWalla and you'll find
You're getting into the territory where I'm like,
Yeah, I know.
I might be too old for that. But luckily we have great people that, in fact, it just was posted on our Instagram and Facebook feed, a time-lapse photography of a event we just hosted at the Foundry Vineyard for raising money. It was called The Happening. And we had 10 visual artists and a bunch of performing arts and storytelling, and it's like a time-lapse
That's cool.
photography of that event.
I've been to that Foundry Winery. It's pretty cool.
And really, I should give a shout out to Mark Anderson, who was the founder of The Foundry, the real thing, and also one of the founding members of ArtWalla. He is very responsible for public art that's up and down. They cast a lot of it at the Foundry. And
I was going to ask if they did it right there at the Foundry.
they don't do all of it, and now they are crazy big.
There aren't a lot of foundries around.
Doing amazing international installations. Last time I was in London, they were installing a huge piece that had been done at the Foundry.
At the Foundry. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's cool.
That's great.
Really cool. Awesome. Well, we really appreciate you coming in and talking to us. And we're excited about all the things that you guys have going on here.
Yeah, congratulations on the Creative District.
I know. That's a huge coup.
We know how hard that is.
It's going to be so fun to see how that develops. I mean, we don't really know, but there's a lot of energy around it. We really involve the community to get ideas from them, and then they were all excited to hear that it had happened.
Support the arts and the arts community.
I know.
It's awesome.
Well, we love your community.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Everybody's been so great. Yeah. So
I know. It's been really fun.
Super creative place.
It is. I don't know why we all gather here, but we do.
I know.
Right?
You're just glad they did.
Can't even take it all in sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
It's amazing.
I know, which means we all have to come back.
I know. Exactly.
But you live in a pretty nice little creative.
We do.
It is. It is a nice little
Yeah,
place.
we have a pretty good
It's
art
nice to leave and see other creative places, though.
and get new ideas.
Yeah.
And just experience something fresh.
Yeah. It's nice to have a change of view.
And to meet lovely people.
Yes, like you.
I'm excited. I'm going to be following your podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously.
Yay! Well, that's so fun. Yeah. Well, we love doing it, and we love meeting people like you, and just this community's super great. So go to Walla Walla.
Yes. Yes. Well, thank you again.
Yes.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate your time. And I'm Allie.
And I'm Callie. And whatever you do today, make sure it's creative in a creative town.
The Allie and Callie Artcast is sponsored in part by Tubbs Coffee Roasters, globally sourced, locally roasted coffee. Scraps Barbecue, a locally owned catering company. The Ovation Company, standing for what is right and good. And Pyramid Printing, a Coeur d'Alene favorite for over 2 decades.